Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to a brand new episode of The Nation Wants to Know. I'm Deepti Sachdeva. There is a reason why a lot of you, remember, have been tuning into Times Now, the day's biggest of focus story. That is the entire controversy about the NEET scam. Where else but here on the channel that you have received the first news breaks, the newsmakers, and the most important stories. Likewise, in the last few minutes, our group editor-in-chief, Navika Kumar, has led the entire coverage by telling you, the viewer, the story, the news that you wanted to hear. The Education Minister of the country, Dharmendra Pradhan, remember, is expected to speak to the media shortly. The story broken first by Times Now. All other channels got napping and also, in fact, copying our lines. Not just this, she's also told you that there could be a likely action against the NTA's top brass. What really has led to this? What could happen in the next few minutes? We'll have a panel of guests and our team of reporters joining us in just a moment. But first up, as always, let's get you details of that big scoop that Navika has got us more details of. The first big scoop that again tells you why people tune into Times Now when it matters is of the news that has been tightening around the NTA. Remember, the accountability has to be fixed, something that Dharmendra Pradhan has said right from day one, and we are learning that a fixing accountability of the autonomous NTA top brass is the top priority of the Modi government. That will happen. So next few minutes, very, very critical. This brings us to our next big inside scoop. Remember, whether there has been a paper leak or not, lot of conversations around that, about the Bihar connection and much more. An internal probe also is on if the NTA actually kept the center and the Bihar police in the dark. Whether the Education Ministry was informed on time or not, again, is something that is being probed as we speak. Accountability will be fixed also on the fact that was the Education Ministry and the minister misled by the NTA. Lot of questions, remember, have been raised on the NTA, its style of working, and now also the ministry and the sources within the ministry actually tell us that they are worried whether the NTA misused its autonomy to conceal facts. Why did they do that? Where will the buck stop? We are learning in the next few minutes. The heads, remember, will be rolling. Again, like I said, a story broken by Times Now is also on the fact whether a lot of students who, remember, have given the exams, 24 plus lakh, the government says that they're in touch with the Bihar police on a possible leak. Again, this leak angle is significant because you have seen even the Bihar BJP raising this angle and saying that there is evidence to prove that a leak actually happened. About 30 to 40 students may have been compromised. Again, this is a big inside scoop, extremely significant to tell you that a parallel probe by the Education Ministry has been underway, the details of which are on your screens. We are also learning that the center believes that why compromise the future of 13 lakh students, and hence there has to be action, there has to be accountability, something again that the Education Minister, the moment he begins to speak, will take us ahead on. This is a test, remember, for about 1,500 students that is still on track. This is the entire angle of the grace marks. If you recall, the matter did reach the Supreme Court. Even the Supreme Court, remember, has been very, very critical of the NTA. Again, the agency that right now is under the radar, lot of questions being asked of it. So this is also about those cancellation of those grace marks. A lot of students also said that for the first time, there has been this unusual grace mark, unusual number of toppers. So I think all that has been kept in mind as the news continues to tighten. The Education Minister of the country is apprised of what really has been going on, and he's expected to speak to the media shortly. Mohit Bhatt is also joining us live, and he's at the NMC. Remember, that is the place where this briefing is expected to get underway in the next few minutes. What are we hearing, Mohit? How long before the big announcement, big details come in? Navika already has led the coverage and she's got us all that inside scoop.
police. In fact, Times Now has been ahead of the investigation in all this NEET controversy, and now we see that in some time from now, Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan will be addressing a press conference. What exactly Dharmendra Pradhan will say, that will be very, very interesting. And as we have broken on Times Now, and as Navika ma'am was saying earlier, that accountability of the NTA, that is the National Testing Agency, which is responsible for conducting the NEET exams and other top-notch exams, will be fixed. Did NTA conceal facts from Bihar police and the center? This is all part of the investigation. Did NTA mislead the Education Ministry? Did NTA use its power to conceal the facts and did not reveal it to Education Ministry? So these are all the points that will be on the focus, and whether Dharmendra Pradhan will speak on these issues or not, that remains to be seen. Because Deepti, remember, Dharmendra Pradhan earlier, a few days ago, stated that there has not been any leak in the paper, and these are baseless allegations. But now there are reports coming in from Bihar that a student got a question paper before the exam, and the original question paper, it was 100% matching with the question paper he got before the exam after paying huge sum of money. So we see that how the leakage has happened, the investigation is going on, the politics also is going on this issue. We have seen a whole lot of reaction coming in from the top leaders of the opposition party, including Rahul Gandhi, who has attacked the government, saying that this government is playing with the future of the students and they're not serious in conducting these exams, and they have lashed out at the NTA also. So clearly we are getting to know that the responsibility and the accountability of NTA will be fixed, the action would be taken. So what exactly Dharmendra Pradhan will have to say, that remains to be seen, because amidst all the NEET controversy, we saw that how the NET exam, the UGC NET exam was also cancelled, which was being given by around 9 to 10 lakh students day before yesterday. So within 24 hours, that exam also get cancelled, and that raises serious questions on the functioning of the autonomous body that is
absolutely
the NTA.
So, you know, Rishabh, the crux of this is that the NTA, the premier agency, the nodal agency that actually conducts this exam, lot of questions are being raised on its conduct, on its modus operandi, on its intentions. I think this is the biggest news spec, and you've seen the government acting proactively when it comes to all those factors, Rishabh. I'll let you go only for the moment to get us, that live coverage from that press conference once that begins. But for the moment, I quickly want to introduce a panel of guests who've joined us. Charu Pragya, the spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. Yuvraj Pokhara is a columnist joining us. Shyam Prasad Mekhaji, senior leader of the Congress. And Tariq Khan is a national spokesperson of the SP. Completing our panel, and like I said, Times Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, has led the coverage today. In the last few minutes, the first story that was broken by Times Now is the fact that the Education Minister is going to be speaking. He's addressing the media very shortly. And what is likely, Mr. Mekha, is that there could be action against the NTA's top brass. So does this actually tell you, does this reassure you that the future of our students is in safe hands?
No, I don't know what is the connection. See, okay, too little, too late. And
you're saying this is too little, too late?
1 second. If they take action, it is too late. And first of all, our focus is on how do we ensure confidence in the system, in the minds of the youth. That is our focus. We are not here jumping up and down. Oh, yeah, Education Minister is speaking, the government is moving, we are doing
When
something.
the Education Minister, Mr. Mekha, is not speaking, you say, why is he not speaking? When he's saying, you are saying, why should we, be even talking of the fact that he's speaking?
I will tell. Tomorrow we are going to say, hey, in Man Ki Baat, Pradhan Mantri is speaking about this issue. After his Pariksha Pe Charcha, he is going to do this. Come
so
on.
You're a very seasoned politician.
Deepti, come on.
You're a very seasoned politician, sir. You know it's not about you, me, the BJP or anyone else. It's about the students.
Exactly. So what is the answer we are going to give to the students and what are the steps we are going to take to ensure that our youth doesn't lose confidence in the system? Because I will tell you, I have gone through this process. As during youth, as students, it is the minimum requirement for us. We need to know, hey, this exam is coming up this month. Next year, this notification is going to come up, so that I plan my career. I don't know which exam will happen, which exam will get cancelled. That is huge injustice that we are doing to our students.
Okay.
While
I
the way,
think to be fair,
even the
Mr. Mecca, you're raising
failures are
valid
also
concerns. You're raising valid concerns. I'll let Charu respond to this. Before I get in both Yuvraj and Tariq Khanji to respond to this, because, you know, we must hear and give the government a fair chance. You can raise a lot of these questions, which are, again, like I said, valid, Charu. But the point is, you know, I'm a little surprised with the kind of response, Charu, that has also come in from the Bihar Deputy Chief Minister. When he says कि leak तो हुआ है, leak का एक kingpin है, तो अगर आपको ये सब पता है and you're apparently claiming that the leak is linked to the Yadavs and apparently to Tejasvi Yadav, why not arrest him? If you have the evidence, arrest him.
Deepti, good evening. And this paper leak has been terrible all around, and we are the first ones to acknowledge that the future of our students is of paramount importance, and our government is going to leave no stone unturned in ensuring that the culprits are punished. I also want to take a moment to tell everyone this. I don't know how many people have followed this news. From February this year, BJP is the first government ever to bring in a bill, to bring in a law which is going to check these kind of malpractices, check paper leaks. And the punishment for this bill, punishment under Public Examinations Prevention of Unfair Means Act, is going to be jail term of 3 years and fine up to 1 crore. So it's a very stringent law with very strict punishment. In fact, now we are also a government which is putting a check and balance on everything and acknowledging the fact that something wrong has happened. We are going to correct that wrong. But where are all these fingers pointing? Let's take a look at that. Yes, a paper leak has happened. Yes, investigations are going on. Yes, the case is pending in the Supreme Court. But you know what the agencies are telling us? All the fingers are pointing to Tejasvi Yadav's aide by the name of Preetam. His PS, his right-hand man.
Charu, that's exactly my question.
But
you know, this could be a political allegation. If there is evidence, please arrest him. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because what happens is that the interest of the students should be paramount here, Charu, much like I requested Mr. Mecca. Let's quickly get the first responses from both Yuvraj and from Tariq Khanji. Then we'll also find out from Rishabh how much more time before we will hear that briefing coming in from Dharmendra Pradhan, the Education Minister, that is at the NMC any moment now. But Tariq Khanji, what would you say to the responses you've heard so far from the government? Dharmendra Pradhan, right from day one, has been saying that we will keep in mind the future of our students and please allow us an independent, thorough probe. Wait. But did you people speak too soon? Did you people start politicizing too soon? Or you believe it's only because of your pressure that something is happening?
Dharmendra Pradhan also said that there was no paper leak when he first came to the media. There was no paper. He was so confident. There was no paper leak. No question about that. We should talk about that. Point number one, point number two.
I mean, stop.
You said that we should give. Don't interrupt. I don't believe in all those things. This is very sad that BJP is interrupting.
No. One minute. You are the one who is politicizing everything. Once the government finds a fault, it is fixing it. But when the
Charu, please allow him to put out his opening comment. Let's not talk over each other. It's a serious issue. Request, Charu, let Tariq Khanji complete his point, then you can counter him.
I'll give my time to that lady.
Yes, go on.
Let her speak, I'll not speak. If you'll allow me, then only I'll speak.
Go on.
What I'm saying, that you are saying that give chance to the government. Okay, 19 paper has been leaked in Uttar Pradesh. Since 2017, the first paper leaked, that was the Daroga Bharti. And last was the Constable Bharti. 1.5 crores students have been affected. What you will say? There is zero accountability. When you do something great, you said government has done a great thing. Very good. When something went wrong, you said officials and that agency is responsible. If you're constructing road, you said that we take the credit and we government have done everything. Okay, fine, very good. When something went wrong, you said that we government are not responsible. We take responsibility on our shoulder. It's that officer said that agency is responsible.
Okay.
What the hypocrisy is that?
Okay, so Tariq Khanji says this is hypocrisy. Charu, I'll let you respond to that. But Yuvraj, why don't you come in here? When you look at the entire issue, you know, through the prism of students, because that is most important. Today, Rahul Gandhi says that this is a bigger scam than Vyapam. He is alleging that both the BJP and the RSS have, you know, kind of captured our educational institutions. It's good to play politics, good to ask questions in a democracy, but fear and paranoia, Yuvraj.
No, Deepti, this is the most sensitive issue that I feel that India faces because this not only is germane to the future of the country, but it also concerns the health of the country in the Amrit Kal that PM Modi has given us the path. Second, it is not an issue to be politicking with, and I am very much personally vested with this issue because I myself hail from a family of doctors. I being the only non-doctor in my family. But we need to understand that NTA is an autonomous body, and there has to be stringent, amount of accountability that NTA has to come out with, and NTA needs a lot of reforms. But yes, to be fair and to be devil's advocate at the same time, I'll raise up my own issue. The time when I was a student, there were multiple channels, multiple regional exams, and there was a very unholy nexus of the regional satraps, including the regional politicians, coachings, and this local nexus. And we were asked to pay a hefty amount of donation, and then came PM Modi with a central exam, and this exam is akin to one nation, one exam. It challenged the very hegemony of the regional satraps, politicians, and the donation systems. And that is why people like me came in support of the exam. But today, it is very aghast, and I'm very aghast and painful to see the state of affairs. And I request the Honorable PM, the Honorable Education to come up with a quick response. As I said, just last 10 seconds, it is about the health and the future of the country, and heads will have to be rolled, be it people from the ministry or be it people from the NTA.
Okay, I think that is also expected. But the critical question, Charu, before I let you respond, Mr. Mecca, is also on who is behind all this. You know, there has been a paper leak, at least in Bihar, is what is becoming very, very clear. Apparently, a leak was prevented in Gujarat, is what sources tell us. But we'll wait for a final confirmation from the Education Minister, who will be speaking shortly. But Mr. Mecca, why should Tejasvi Yadav be silent? If there are serious charges being leveled against him from a sitting Deputy Chief Minister of the state of Bihar, is it not fair that Tejasvi also responds?
Yeah, see, one thing, the fact that he is not in power anymore. So basically, he did not respond very quickly. The power need to speak, and people can prosecute him if he is wrong, right? It's as simple as that. Now the issue is, let us not see this from the angle of just as a criminal case. It's not. It's a systematic problem. You see, there is a pattern, right? Which paper? The Public Service Commission exams are being leaked. NEET is in doldrums. Now the eligibility test is in doldrums. There is a pattern, right? So there are coaching institutions which are making huge sums of money based on this.
Mr. Mecca, who are you pointing towards? Who are you alluding towards?
Who? During all these exams, there are allegations that only certain institutions, certain centers are getting cent percent, 100 and 100. These are all questions that comes in the minds of the people. This is a much serious issue rather than simply finding somebody in BJP and putting BJP in the dock, or finding somebody connected with RJD.
Then why does Rahul Gandhi say what he says? You know, without understanding how big the scam is. When Rahul Gandhi says that, you know, this is perhaps bigger than Vyapam, or the BJP or the RSS ne kabza kar liya hai on all educational institutions, Mr. Mecca, isn't that a pure political statement to make?
I will tell you, I will give you another khulasa. There is a list of professors that went from Nagpur who are ruling the roost in our universities today in this country.
You're mixing up a lot of issues. That's my problem. You have an axe to grind with Narendra Modi and the BJP. Do that. Do that, sir. But this is perhaps not the opportune time to do it. Now, Charu, but this does not mean that you will not respond to the question that if your UGC NET examination had to be cancelled again because quote-unquote it got compromised. Charu, this is also a telling statement on exams and quote-unquote paper leaks under the Modi government.
Deepti, just allow me 30 seconds because like I said, this is an issue which is bigger than politics. We all remember a time when one person could go and give another person's paper. You know, that is how bad the situation used to be. We have made many corrections and we are continuing to do that. In fact, let me say this with a lot of responsibility that ours is the first government which has ordered a probe into one of its own departments by the CBI. And that has happened. So that just shows our bona fide. We are not.
But why was there a leak in the first place, Charu? Lot of students, lot of aspirants, you know, who've been coming on our shows, who've been calling our newsrooms are asking, why was there a leak in the first place?
Agreed. I agree. Deepti, now please just allow me 30 seconds uninterrupted because I have some questions to ask and I will answer some of yours. Out of 4,550 centers, 4,550 centers, there was an issue in 8 centers. Does that mean that all the other centers didn't do its job properly? Yes, it did. Now the government is taking a look at all these 8 centers and then, like I said, ordered a probe into its own department. My point here is all the fingers are pointing to RJD leaders. Why is there no accountability there? Mr. Mecca is very conveniently now
Charu, it is your government. It is your government in Bihar. It is your government in the center. If you have evidence, please prosecute Tejasvi Yadav. My only request is, please stop playing politics. Let there be action. Let there be action. Students' lives matter.
Can I please finish? I am not talking about the government. Government is taking full onus and responsibility. But I am saying that is criminality going to be established looking at somebody's political connections?
Okay.
If the criminality is established to Pritam Yadav, linking to Tejasvi Yadav.
Okay, we'll see, Charu, if there is action against Tejasvi Yadav as you allege. But what we'll do is, Tariq ji and Yuvraj, with your permission, I quickly want to hit a break because it's already close to about 7:20 now, and we are standing by for that briefing from the Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. That could happen any time now. A quick break. Back with lots more. Welcome back. So could there be a significant announcement vis-a-vis the NEET exam? Could we see heads rolling? Most likely, yes. We've left the coverage on the entire issue. Our group editor-in-chief, Navika, remember, has told us that there is going to be significant action against the NTA's top brass. But the opposition says this is not good enough. This is too little too late, is what Mr. Mecca said. We continue to be joined by Mr. Mecca, who represents the Congress, Charu, who represents the BJP, and Yuvraj, who's a columnist, also is with us. Yuvraj, before I go into our political guests, tell me something. When you see a situation like this, students are out on the streets, they've been protesting, they are saying, we want to meet with the minister, we want a re-examination. Do you think that possibly is the best solution right now that the students could be satisfied with, a re-examination?
Deepti, I feel re-examination is not the solution because the government has to fix the culpability. The culprits have to be booked, heads have to be rolled. And yes, as Charu quite eloquently mentioned, there were only a few centers that had some issues. But let us be fair to Charu and the government as well, because
no, but Yuvraj, that can't be an excuse. No, you can't tell me that paper सिर्फ 2 center में leak हुआ है. There should not be any paper leak. I mean, how can we have a situation where you cherry pick on, you know, where leak has happened, not fair, no, Yuvraj? No,
that is all fine. That is all fine. It is Charu's prerogative and it's her duty to defend the government. But I'm just asking you and the panel to be very pragmatic and objective, because the opposition does not have any moral authority or any kind of volition to speak on corruption. Come on, the party that is soaked in corruption from A to Z. I mean, he's preaching us on paper leaks. There used to be myriads of papers during UPA era and myriads of leakage channels. At least we have just uniform exam, NTA, and there is a case. And I'm sure the government is being very discerning. The government is being very responsible when it comes to taking action. So I'm very much looking forward to the press conference of Dharmendra Pradhan, and heads will roll as we speak in a couple of not hours, but couple of minutes. So to
yes, it's close to about 7:25. I think it's running a little late, but we do know that there is going to be action, Mr. Mecca. I'm going to be hitting a break in just a moment. But on our screens is also the live frame that, remember, is coming in from the NMC, Charu. I'll give you just 10 seconds to respond, then we'll hit our first break. Charu.
Absolutely. Deepti, you know, I firmly agree that even one leak is one leak too much. But then we have been working on ensuring that this examination giving process is cleaned up in such a way that there are no paper leaks. There is no nexus between political parties, coaching centers and those who are allowing these paper leaks to happen. Whatever is the investigation result, I assure you, Dharmendra Pradhanji, our government is going to ensure that justice is given to these students. But at the same time, because Mr. Meka has been pointing so many fingers at BJP, I want to remind him that 14 paper leaks happened in government in Gehlotji.
Charu, like you said, the number does not matter. No, even one leak should not happen. That should be the principle, no matter whoever is in power. We'll quickly hit a break, and that again is a reminder that we are staying live with the story because we are expecting the Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan to address and make a significant decision vis-a-vis the NEET exam. The first news that you've heard first here on Times Now. On the break right now, our guests continue to stay with us.